it's your girl Bamsi and welcome back to my channel. If you've been watching my videos, thank you very much, and I know you're enjoying my content, and if this is your first time, just sit tight because you're going to have a blast. And so today is day 2 of my video curriculum, and we're going to be focusing on how friends and communities influence who we become in the world. The video is going to be divided into 4 sections. The first section is going to be focused on how personality development is influenced by communities. The second section is going to be focused on how communities influence women and girls' abilities to dream for their future, or what is possible for women and girls to attain. The third section is going to be focused on the career paths most girls choose in the societies, in communities. And the last part is I'm going to be giving you statistics on the number of women and girls that are being forced into marriage yearly. And before I forget, if you know nothing about the video curriculum, don't be worried. Just go watch my video titled The GetUp Project, and you're going to have an understanding of everything I'm talking about and how you're going to benefit from watching the video curriculum. Stay tuned, and we're going to get into business pretty soon. Thank you. So how do our communities influence personality development? According to social psychology, personality development is how organized patterns of behavior that make up a person's personality emerges over time. There are various factors that influence a person's personality, such as environmental factors, societal variables, genetics, as well as parenting. There are also social institutions that influence who we become, how we see the world, and also how we identify and present ourselves to the world. Some of these social institutions are the government, families, religion, as well as the media. So for example, in the media, women are being portrayed as being perfect. Like when they are selling beauty products, you see flawless women who have a glass figure, and this is portrayed as the ideal woman, or the kind of way women are supposed to look and how they are supposed to be. And so this puts a lot of pressure on regular women like myself, because I do not have an hourglass shape, and so now I have to try to fit in. Maybe I have to do surgeries and it could end up bad, and then I have to lose my life, or I actually develop medical conditions or complications. And so the media puts pressure on women and how we're supposed to present ourselves, and this sometimes could lead to women feeling more comfortable in themselves, looking more pretty, and just overall being happy. Or it could also lead to complications because the surgery or the procedure didn't end up successful. Apart from that, institutions like our families also do put pressure on us. For example, as a man, you're expected to earn a living and be the breadwinner of your house, take care of your wife and your kids, and make sure everyone is safe. So men that live up to these standards generally have high self-esteem because they are successful. The society terms them as successful, and they also feel welcomed in the society. However, for men who do not live up to these expectations, or have limitations that might make them not live up to these expectations, generally have a low self-esteem because they don't fit the society's definition of success, and so they sometimes ostracized or just left alone, and they don't really fit in and don't belong into the community. So in general, communities do influence who we become and personality development, because belonging to a particular group, there are particular rules being set or not set that influence being a member of that group. And if you live up to the expectations of the group, then you are favored. However, if you don't, then you are not favored. So that's it for how our communities influence personality development. And now we're going to be talking about how women's ability to dream as a result of the societies they are born in. Did you know that about 60 million adolescent girls face unbelievable barriers to their rights to education, health, safety, and well-being? This prevents them to access resources, unlock skills and abilities that would help them to practice agency, as well as finally help them to transition into better livelihoods. The fact that gender stereotypes are set in stone and repeated across generations limit women's ability to have employment opportunities. These gender stereotypes do not only suppress women's value, but it also prevents them from working at their full potential. In some areas, it's very noticeable that most women hold positions in the service sector. Not saying that the service sector is not a good place to work in, but it's not ideal for a young girl who wants to be an engineer to see all her fellow women in her communities only working in the service sector. This kind of sets a bar for what she can attain and what is possible for her to become, and it kind of limits her ability to imagine about a better and bigger future for herself. It's very important that we all have mentors or people that we look up to and also hope that, oh wow, she did this, so I can do it. But we have little to know of those people in various communities and rural environments that actually serve as role models. What is the hope for young girls, and what is the hope for girls' abilities to dream that they could actually and truthfully live up to their full potential? That's a question for you to answer when you go back home and go back into your rural communities and to the suburbs, and you experience or just observe what women and girls go through and the kind of mindset they have. So now we are done with how women and girls dream as a result of communities, and we're going to now be talking on the vocations that women and girls hold in their communities. Stay tuned. Women and girls' education is sometimes or frequently discouraged in most parts of Africa, and most women and girls which are being given into child marriage have little or no education, and the ones that have education just have the mandatory primary school education, or that's from like 0 to 9th grade. And in most impoverished communities, young girls have little or no chances of getting an education because of the prevalence of gender stereotypes, which means that we see women as better suited for the household chores and better suited as wives, and just trying to ensure the overall well-being of kids. And in Africa, most women hold jobs in the informal, specifically in rural communities. Most women hold jobs in the informal sector as either petty food traders, subsistence farmers, or working in a very small scale food processing industry, and this leaves them having very low working conditions, very low living standards, and very poor working conditions. Despite a huge number of women working in this sector, however, there's very little power women hold in this sector. This is because they mostly function in their function in such societies mostly surround gender roles, or they are facing very stiff barriers and unfair laws, such as unfair access to land and also food supply chains. In order to create a change in our community, we would have to start educating girls in schools, in elementary school, about the barriers women and girls face as they struggle through life and as they try to become better versions of themselves. By educating women and girls on these barriers, we are helping them create a space for themselves where they are able to dream and they're able to try to work to attain their full potentials, while defeating or breaking gender stereotypes and also believing in their personal self-worth and not what the society says they are supposed to be. So now we are going to be focused on, I'm going to be giving you statistics on the number of girls in Africa that are given into child marriage. 1 in every 3 girls is forced into child marriage before the age of 18, with 1 in every 9 girls also being forced into marriage before the age of 15. If nothing is done, according to UNICEF, to change the rate of child marriage in Africa alone, by 2050, the rates of child marriage in Africa is going to double. With all the statistics I've provided to you today and all the information I've thrown at you today, what can you do in your community to create a change? That's what I'm going to leave you with today, and that's it for lesson 2 of our video curriculum. If you like my video, do well to subscribe, share, and drop your comments down in the comment section. Thank you and adios.